Remember when all your schoolmates said they wanted to be an astronaut or a pop star, and you said you wanted to be a police detective? Don't worry, you're not alone. Welcome to the TV show with only one question. Who done it? Armchair detectives. 15 murder mystery enthusiasts are primed and ready to solve a crime. Our detective boffins will watch the evidence unfold from a case set in picturesque Mortcliffe, the fictional village with a terrible reputation for murder. We'll see the village's dynamic crime fighters sift through all the information in today's case. There they are. D.I. Knight, D.C. Slater and scene of crime officer Simmons. Without further ado, let's say hello to our armchair detectives. Armchair detectives, hello. Hello. They're so cheerful, I love them. Now, only 3 of you play each day, so please take your armchairs. James, Catherine and Bola. Come on up, come on up. Welcome, armchair detectives. As you know by now, the detectives who guess the killer correctly will win one of these. The gorgeous, golden, magnifying glass trophy. Ooh. Now, you've all played twice before. Catherine and James have a 100% record. What's the secret to your success, do you think, James?
I've got a really good eye for detail and I'm good at piecing everything together, and I think that's... I don't want to mention my job too much because I want to keep it at the end of this, so if I get it wrong...
I mean, you kind of have mentioned it, so you're a detective?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I am a detective.
Catherine, what's the secret to your success?
When I was about 12, I was given as a present a biography of a very famous pathologist, and I've been really interested in pathology and forensic medicine since then. Which pathologist was it? Sir Bernard Spilsbury.
I've read that one. It's very interesting
it's very
indeed.
Good.
It's very interesting indeed, absolutely. Now, Bola.
Hi.
You haven't won yet.
No.
I can't tell you how much I want you to win a golden magnifying glass trophy today. Have you been psyching yourself up?
Yeah, definitely going to be taking my notes,
yes.
But I'm not going to panic last minute as much as I did the last 2 times.
Absolutely. Well,
yes.
We're rooting for you. We're rooting for you. All of you armchair detectives, good luck. It's time for round 1, the crime scene. Knight and Slater have been called into Mortcliffe College, and it's not because a pupil handed their homework in late. Notepads at the ready. For the first time today, let's go to Mortcliffe.
Bring back memories, Slater?
Yeah, I was a science luminary. You?
Oh, my strongest subject was always poetry. There's nothing explores the human condition quite like poetry, Slater.
No, you're right. Sorry, sir.
Ah, Miss Webster, is it?
Yes. Hello, detectives.
Hi.
Hi.
How's Mr. Roberts?
Oh, not too good, I'm afraid.
Did you notice anything suspicious this morning?
In fact, yeah. When I arrived, I thought I saw someone jumping out of a window around the south side. At least I think I did. I can't be too sure. It happened so quickly.
Well, if you think of anything else, do give D.C. Slater a call.
I can take you to the room just now.
Thank you. Hi. Anything so far?
Seems like a heart attack. No other injuries. I'm not optimistic about Prince. There's so many staff members come in and out of this room.
Time of death?
About 9:40 a.m. Victim is a Miss Emma Keane, 50 years old. She died during a fire drill. She came back in to get a register. The door was broken, so they had to force entry to get to her. She was found by a Mr. Roberts.
Who scheduled the drill?
It wasn't a scheduled drill. I think you boys need to work out who raised the alarm.
It's on my list, my lady.
Do you know where this Mr. Roberts is?
I think he's in the art room.
Thanks, Simmons. We'll let you get on with your work.
Yeah, thanks, Simmons. Get on with your work.
I could hide your body and no one would ever find it.
Mr. Roberts, I'm sorry for your loss. Do you feel able to answer some questions right now?
Go ahead.
Can you tell us what happened this morning?
Yes, I arrived at about 8:30, normal time. Greeted pupils and teachers at the gate. Ms. Keane arrived late. I was chatting in the staff room and then the fire alarm went off. So I went outside to see what was happening and carried out the evacuation procedure in the playground.
And Miss Keane went back?
She went back for the register. I went back inside with Mr. Fawcett and opened the fire alarm cabinet and reset the alarm. I noticed the handle on the office door was off on both sides. I looked through the hole and saw her. She'd just been voted Teacher of the Year. Why?
Luckily, we do have CCTV in the south side. I thought you may want to have a look at this. So, it's about 9:30. That's when the fire alarm had already gone off. She climbs in, and 5 minutes later, she climbs out the window. See?
Can we get a copy of this?
Yeah.
Pity we can't see her face and what she's carrying.
Oh, I can't tell you what, but I can tell you who.
Oh, this is a good one.
There's going to be a lot of suspects.
You think it'll be just a school photo?
Yes. Just give me the yearbook, that's fine. We'll work from that.
What about what you've seen so far?
So I think from where she was found, there's possibly going to be quite a lot of DNA in there. We saw the brownies, didn't we? So
Yes, the camera lingered on those.
Yes, the camera
plate of brownies.
also lingered on some coffee cups in the bin.
Yeah.
And some coffee cups that were stacked up as well.
Yeah.
Suspected heart attack makes me think maybe we're going down the route of maybe a poisoning. Something to raise the heart.
Gemma Webster, wasn't it, that she said she'd seen somebody jump out the window on the south side?
Webster, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's been confirmed, hasn't it, by the CCTV?
Yes, the
Craig
CCTV.
Craig Thomas showed us the CCTV.
Yeah.
And on the CCTV, he kept on referring to her as she.
Yeah.
And that she was carrying something.
Yeah.
He can't tell us what she was carrying, but
And we
he
couldn't
can,
see her face either, could we?
But he knows who it is.
He knows who it is.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it was very striking that Mr. Roberts, that was an extraordinary state of grief.
Very emotional, wasn't he?
Very,
very
emotional.
And he's also wearing a wedding ring, so he is married.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you about the victim. We're investigating the death of Ms. Emma Keane, who was 50. She was an art teacher and married. The cause of death is a suspected heart attack, and the time of death is approximately 9:40 a.m. So,
Well, she's an attractive woman,
yes,
married. Could be that she was having a relationship with another married teacher.
Possibly. We also know that she arrived late that day.
Yes.
Why was she late?
Why was she late?
let me put the suspects up for you so we can talk about them a little bit more. We've got Miss Gemma Webster, who's a science teacher.
Yeah.
Mr. Ken Roberts, who's the headmaster, and Craig Thomas, who's the caretaker. Now, remind me, who found the body?
That was
Roberts.
Ken Roberts.
Yes.
He looked through the hole.
Yes.
But he said, didn't he say that the handle was off the door on both sides?
Yes, the lock was off on both sides.
When a handle falls off a door, it's normally just on one side, isn't it?
So does that make us believe that she couldn't get out?
I'm not trusting Ken at the moment.
Yeah.
There's something that's being missed.
Quite emotional, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So let me try and help you out a bit with your first piece of evidence. Here is a still from the CCTV shown by Craig to the detectives. So this is what the caretaker was talking about when he said she, that was his assumption, is going through the window carrying something.
Well, that looks like a sort of printed carrier bag, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does it? They're wearing sort of school uniformy trousers.
9:30 a.m. is the timestamp.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
9:30, it's the time the fire alarm went off.
Yeah. So, does that person know that has arranged to have the fire alarm set off so that
cover.
she knows that that teacher is going to go into the office for the register to take out to call?
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Let's see if we can move further forward in the investigation with round 2, last movements. Back to Mortcliffe College, where caretaker Craig has got his hands full. Notepads at the ready. Off we go.
Mr. Roberts, look, I am sick of cleaning this graffiti. We need to put an end to it.
You're right. I need to find out who it is.
I know who it is. It's that new girl, Penny Kingdom.
Mr. Roberts, could we have a chat about me hiring a new assistant? My workload is bigger than everyone else's and I can't keep up.
I'm sorry, Miss Webster, there's just no money. There wasn't the first time you asked, and there isn't now. I'm very sorry.
Well, can't Miss Keane share hers?
That's not possible, and you know it's not. Everyone's busy, not just you. How's the planning going for the science trip?
Fine. Hello.
Nice of you to join us, Miss Keane.
Ah, thank you.
Thought you might need it.
Kind of. Want a brownie? They're from Penny. I think she's trying hard to make up for her behaviour.
You doing a stock take?
Just marking art supplies. There's been a fair amount of spray paint going missing recently. Poor Craig has spent hours scrubbing the walls this week.
Oh no, I left the register inside.
I'll go and get it.
You shouldn't go back inside, not until we find out what caused the alarm.
Probably a misbehaved child. Come on, that's what it usually is.
But you don't know what's...
It's fine.
Sorry, we were interrupted earlier. I've had my coffee now. What were you saying about this graffiti artist?
It's definitely Penny Kingdom. It only started when she arrived and she's always in trouble. Her and her minions. I'll be back.
Hi. Can I help you?
I'm Henry Fawcett, the history sub.
Hi, I'm Mr. Roberts, the head.
Sorry I'm late. Trains.
It's no problem. Sorry about the chaos. We're investigating the fire alarm.
What's the wrong, Mr. Lawrence?
No problem. Could you send everyone back inside?
Hang on. What are you thinking?
So, first of all, I'm thinking Mr. Roberts has lied.
Yes.
Because he didn't reset the fire alarm, did he?
No,
he was outside.
he didn't.
Yeah.
He delivered a drink to Miss Keane. He left it with one sugar on the desk while she was labelling up the spray paint. Spray paint's been going missing.
Yeah.
The person that I think has been doing the spray painting is Penny. Yeah, so Penny gave brownies to Miss Keane to make up for her behaviour.
Yeah.
I found it quite significant when the headmaster said rather ostentatiously, "Oh dear, I have forgotten the register." And she said, "Oh, I'll go and get it." And there was something about the way he did that.
We can now add Mr. Henry Fawcett, the substitute teacher, and Penny Kingdom, who we've not met yet. So...
Don't know if anybody else picked up, but it seems that Gemma wasn't fond of Mrs. Keane. She spoke about a heavy workload. Mr. Roberts passed it off.
Yeah.
Let's try and move it forward. It's time to pick your next piece of evidence. We have the graffiti message on the wall that Craig was cleaning, a police report on the office door barged open before discovering the victim, and finally, a police report on the school fire alarm box.
Something's drawing me towards the graffiti.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and it's kind of one of the most obvious, I think, to not go for, but it could be somebody trying to set somebody else up.
Could it be a rude poem or a rude slogan about Miss So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, or...
Yeah, possibly.
I'm inclined to go to the office door at the moment.
Let's go for the office door.
OK, let's see the office door. Door handle, totally detached. Witness reports, state door jammed closed. Possibility of tampering, not definitive.
It's not necessarily that it hasn't been tampered with, they just can't prove it.
There's no proof there, is there?
It looks like the handle could have just fallen off.
You know, apart from the marks where probably the handle was fitted in the first place, there doesn't appear to be any marks around the catch, does there?
Why did Mr. Roberts say he could only see her by looking through the hole? There's windows in the door.
Oh!
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that, James. And I'm this close to the screen. There's a window.
So we now know. I mean, that's two lies we've caught.
Yeah. It is two lies.
Very interesting. It's that moment, armchair detectives, to write down and name your prime suspect. Will it be Gemma, Ken, Craig, Henry, or Penny? It's time to find out who your prime suspects are. James, who have you gone for?
Ken Roberts, the headmaster.
Why?
There's a lot of lies coming out of his mouth at the moment. Call it a copper's nose, but I'm a bit suspicious of him at the moment.
Catherine?
I have gone for the same chap, Ken. As James said, we've detected him in not one but two lies, and also there was something odd about his grief. There was a touch of the theatrical about it.
Yes, it was a little bit theatrical. Bola, what do you think? Who's your prime suspect?
I've gone for Ken Roberts also.
Full house. Full house.
Yes. It's probably the most emotion we've kind of seen, but also it didn't feel genuine.
Yes. So in summary, every single one of our armchair detectives thinks it's Ken. Let's see what happens now. It's on to round 3, the police interviews. Knight and Slater have called in Penny and Craig for questioning. Who's hiding secrets in this textbook case? It's off to Mortcliffe Police Station.
Further searches in the school revealed something pretty interesting. The victim was poisoned. An unusual chemical for a school lab. Sodium azide.
Yeah, no, that is quite unusual, Simmons. I did tell you I was a science buff and so.
Anything else?
May have something, but just need to confirm a few things. I'll keep you in the loop. Oh, there were loose screws in the room we found the body. I'd say the door had been tampered with.
What were you doing on Wednesday morning around 9:15?
At school.
Whereabouts?
I was evacuating the building because of the alarm.
That's interesting because, you see, we have CCTV pictures showing that everyone else was rushing out of the building while you were actually climbing back in. You have quite a track record for vandalism and truancy, Miss Kingdom. Early starter, too. No suggestion of physically violent behaviour, but there's always a first time, I suppose.
I hurt no one, pal.
Well, you see, I can't really take that at face value if you continue to refuse to tell us exactly what you were doing at the time Miss Keane was murdered.
I stole some spray paint from the art department. I wanted to do some graffiti.
Why was that?
That creep Mr. Thomas is out to get me. So I thought I'd give him something to moan about.
I knew it was Penny Kingdom doing the graffiti. It didn't take a rocket scientist to work it out. It started when she came to the school.
Did you threaten her?
No. I told her she was a criminal, and she is.
The graffiti she wrote appears as though it was directed at you. What does it mean exactly?
I have no idea.
Mr. Thomas, we have Miss Keen's mobile phone records. It appears that she made calls from your address on 3 separate occasions over the last 2 weeks after school hours. Can you tell us what she was doing at your house?
Well, she wanted to ask my opinion on plans the school had for renovations.
At 10 o'clock at night.
In summer, one loses track of time.
What do you think of Mr. Roberts?
Do you mean, do I think he killed her? I think Mr. Roberts and Miss Keane had a pretty decent relationship. You know, seemed to get on well enough. I don't think that's important. And look at Penny. Honestly, she's a disaster. I think she's gone too far this time.
In summer, one loses track of time. Oh, really? Mr. Thomas. Eh? Eh? We met Penny. What do we think of her?
What I noticed initially, and I thought, was the spray paint on her fingers.
Yeah, I noticed that, the blue spray paint.
Yeah, the blue spray paint. When in actual fact, she even admitted stealing it.
It was also hinted during the interviews that the graffiti relates to Craig Thomas.
Yeah.
So has Penny discovered that Craig Thomas and Mrs. Keane are maybe having a...
I definitely think so. I definitely think so.
What we also found out on this video was that she was killed by poisoning. I do think it's through the coffee, because coffee is featuring a lot in these videos.
Yeah. Let's try and help you out with some more evidence, see if we can move this forward. Once again, you can pick a piece of evidence from the list. The graffiti message on the wall that Craig was cleaning, a police report on the school fire alarm, or the new piece of evidence, which is the sodium iodide bottle from the school lab.
I'm still curious about the graffiti, I'm going to be honest. And the police officer didn't state that it was about Craig and Mrs. Keane, he just said it was about him.
Penny referred to him in their interview as a creep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in the fire alarm. I'm also interested in the sodium iodide bottle. Especially when Miss Webster's the chemistry teacher.
Yes.
Oh, hello, James.
Yeah.
What do you want to see, Armchair Detectives?
Right. Based on what you've just said, the last bit, I'm going to swing from graffiti to
the sodium iodide.
Sodium.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yes.
OK, let's see the bottle. Sodium iodide is a highly toxic substance and is poisonous if consumed. The bottle states that the substance should be handled with extreme care.
Explodes when a small electrical current is passed through it. Heart attack.
It's time to pick your prime suspect again. Let's have a look at the board. Is it Gemma, Ken, Craig, Henry or Penny? Please write down your prime suspect now. Let's see who your prime suspects are. James, last time you went for Ken. This time?
I've went for Ken again.
Ken again?
Yes. There's still a lot of inconsistencies that have not been answered yet.
Catherine, last time you went for Ken. Who have you gone for this time?
I'm sticking with Ken.
Sticking with Ken?
His lies, his ostentatious grief, there's just something that I find very uneasy making about him.
Something not, as my mum would say, something not right.
It's a bit shifty.
Bola.
Yes.
Last time you went for Ken?
Yes. I'm sticking.
Sticking with Ken?
Yes.
Still all Kens?
Yes. I'm going to be honest, I am curious about Ms. Webster. That's where I'm at, but I've not had enough evidence yet.
Yeah. OK, to summarise then, all of our armchair detectives think that Ken is the prime suspect. It's time now for round 4, Dig Deeper. Notepads at the ready as we head back to Mortcliffe College and to the art classroom.
That's lovely. Well done. Good girl, Penny. Yes, the red. Bit more. Thank you, everybody. Please put everything away neatly. Penny, detention isn't here this afternoon. Please stay seated.
Penny, only you in detention today?
I guess so, sir.
What homework do you have?
Science and English.
Okay, start with science and we'll see how we go.
Sir.
Honestly, what part of detention don't you understand? Come on now, hand it over. Now!
Sir, Miss Webster's the best. Today she showed us how an airbag blows up using this deadly chemical. It's this stuff, right? And when it explodes, it creates all this gas. It's magic and dangerous. We could only touch it with gloves. You were a science teacher once, weren't you, sir? Sir, I know I've been really difficult, but actually, this is the best school. The other 4 I've gone to weren't nearly as good.
Right. Thank you, Penny.
Really?
Really. I'm glad you like science. I'm going to let you go early, in the hope that your troubled behaviour has come to an end.
Oh, yes. For sure. I promise you, you won't regret it, sir. Sir, do you really like Miss Keane like that? Like, to have an affair with her?
I can't have an affair with my own wife, Penny.
Oh, you've got another 15 minutes yet. Does Mr. Roberts know you're off?
You ought to mind your own business.
I know girls like you. Troublemakers. Vandals. Criminals. I'll get you expelled.
Is that a fact? Watch this space, and you'll really know what I'm capable of.
All right, Mr. Roberts.
All right, Mr. Thomas. Have a good evening.
Armchair detectives, huge things happen.
I just wanted confirmation from my colleagues. So do I understand that Miss Keane is actually Mrs. Roberts?
Does this maybe explain why he was so upset when she died?
Yes, but why would he not say? I'm married to her.
I mean,
I don't know, James.
I've just got a little theory that Penny knew it all. She knew that Miss Keane was spending time with Craig.
Yeah.
And she obviously was messaging about seeing her with Mr. Roberts.
Yeah.
He's gone through her message history on her phone.
Yeah.
And maybe worked out that his wife is having an affair with Mr. Thomas. Thanks.
And
James.
we also know that Mr. Roberts used to be a science teacher.
Yep. Now, we've been talking about her being poisoned. She can't have ingested it.
Well, a cup of coffee was delivered by Ken Roberts when she was in the classroom.
Yes.
Yep.
So, here are the suspects for the case. The board is now full. That's all of your suspects.
There's still some unanswered questions with Penny.
She did threaten Craig.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's been up to something untoward and she, I don't know, maybe she's jealous? of somebody.
So once again, you get to pick a piece of evidence from 3 choices. There's a new item on the list. So, the graffiti message on the wall that Craig was cleaning, a police report on the school fire alarm box, and a new item which is text messages from Penny's mobile phone.
I want to see this graffiti. What is it referring to?
I know. But...
what has she got over him?
Bola's so convinced. I think I'd like to have a look at it. It may have a shade on...
Graffiti?
Graffiti.
We're going to take a look at the graffiti.
What's the text?
I know.
What you did, Craig. And it looks like somebody's tried to hide what that says. Oh, does it say something else as well?
It does. Hang on.
What does it say?
The last letter on the has been turned into an R.
Yeah.
A.
Oh, there's something there and I can't see it.
Hey, James. Quite a good clue.
I went with it.
Didn't take long.
Well, we're going to have to move on. So let's get the suspects back up again. Gemma, Ken, Craig, Henry, Penny. Write them down for me. Notepads down, please. James, last time you went for Ken.
Yeah.
Who's your prime suspect this time?
I've stuck with
Ken. Nothing has changed your mind?
No, I've still got so many unanswered questions.
Catherine, last time you went for Ken.
I stuck with Ken, but I now have serious misgivings about having done so.
Why?
Well, I don't know for certain, but I wondered if what you could see written against that was sodium azide.
OK. Interesting theory. Bola, last time you went for Ken. Have you stuck with Ken?
Yes, I have.
Because?
In the morning when she was late, he was kind of offish with her.
Yes.
Nice of you to turn up. Why would you not kind of come together or leave around the same time? Did they not leave the same house in the morning? I'm confused.
Yes. Where was indeed? Where was she?
The prime suspects for everyone is Ken. Lots of questions around Ken. But it's time now for round 5, the final clues. Are we any closer to solving this art attack? Notepads at the ready. Let's go back to Mortcliffe.
Come in. Oh, hello again. Is everything okay?
Mr. Thomas, were you having an affair with Miss Keane?
No, absolutely not.
Really? So you didn't string her along and then call the whole thing off?
Where does this come from?
We've retrieved the last text message Miss Keane sent to you from her mobile phone, which reads...
I cannot believe I almost chose mediocre passion over the special friendship I've always had, ... Thank you for helping me see the error of my ways, full stop.
The woman was a Klingon. Seriously, she didn't understand when enough was enough, but I swear to you, I had nothing to do with her death. Speak to Miss Webster. She was desperate to get the deputy head teacher position, but Mr. Roberts gave it to Miss Keane, obviously, who didn't really deserve it. If anyone had a reason to wish Emma Keane dead, it was her.
Miss Webster, hello.
Hello.
I've never seen a lab so pristine.
Thank you.
Must be a huge asset to the school.
Well, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? How can I help you today?
We were wondering if we could ask you some questions regarding Penny Kingdom.
And we'd appreciate your expert opinion. Do you know a chemical called sodium azide?
Yes, not many schools have it, but I got some in for a specific experiment. That's odd. It's out of its place. I always keep everything in alphabetical order. It should be sodium azide first, then sodium bicarbonate, sodium chloride, then sodium hydroxide.
So orderly.
Well, OCD, really.
Me too.
So the sodium azide was used and then put back in the wrong place?
So I'd be extremely careful touching that. It can be very harmful.
Okay. We'll need to take this away. This evidence.
There's so much going on.
I know.
Tell me, armchair detectives.
I mean, to work backwards, Miss Webster there seemed genuinely gobsmacked when she opened the cupboard and saw that the sodium azide was missing. So I'm inclined to scratch her from the runners and riders in this.
Craig seemed very angry, didn't he?
And also he was very quick, very, very quick to put the blame on somebody else.
Exactly. Someone's been in that cupboard and they've took the sodium azide.
And put it back.
And it's under lock and key.
One more piece of evidence, armchair detectives. So do you want a police report on the school fire alarm box or the text messages from Penny's mobile phone?
My instinct is to go for Penny's texts.
Yeah.
Because clearly there was something that the headmaster saw in them that made him suddenly turn into Mr. Nice Guy.
I do really want to see the fire alarm report because someone set this fire alarm off deliberately. Let's go for Penny's text.
OK, decision made. Let's see Penny's text. So, got some goss. Wah. Seen Ms K snogging Mr R. That's nothing. But K is hearty heart, heart, heart with Swoopy 2. Wow.
That's it. That's what he's seen. He's found out that she's over the side with the caretaker.
Yeah, and that's why he turned into Mr. Nice Guy once he started reading the...
And let her go.
And let her
and
go.
That's why Penny's put it on the graffiti.
So you're thinking that...
Mr Roberts
yes,
saw that she was on her phone, picked up the text, obviously saw that she was talking about him and Miss Keane. Just after that, you saw the caretaker, Craig Thomas, and Ken together in the corridor, and Ken didn't want to speak to him.
It's the final moment we've all been waiting for.
Stop.
You're about to make your accusations. Who will get the golden magnifying glass? It's time to answer the only question that matters. Who done it? Armchair detectives, pads down. James, who are you accusing?
I've stuck with Ken.
Ken?
Yeah. I think he's got the motive that he's found out that his wife is having an affair, that he's had the means, he used to be a science teacher, and there is a lot of lies still unaccounted for.
Catherine, who are you accusing?
I'm still with Ken for the same reasons. There's unexplained lies, and also... there's that convenient thing right at the beginning where he said, "Oh, I've forgotten the register." So I think he's rigged something in that room.
Paula.
I've stuck with Ken.
Ken. All three of our armchair detectives are accusing Ken of the crime. Now, you didn't pick this last piece of evidence. Alarm is activated and accessed by a key. Alarm box not tampered.
It's not been tampered with, so it is someone that's got access to it, so that rules out like a pupil and the teachers. The people that had access to it is Ken Roberts and also Craig Thomas.
What really happened in today's story? School's out for murder. Who killed Miss Emma Keane? Let's find out who done it.
How well does Craig Thomas know his periodic table?
Well, but... Gemma Webster?
He's very knowledgeable on chemicals and their effects.
And who was overlooked for a well-deserved promotion, sir. Could well be a woman.
The fire alarm was activated, so Emma Keane would be trapped inside that office. The sodium azide was already in the chemistry lab. Is Gemma Webster an improviser or a careful planner?
Careful planner, for sure, sir. Takes one to know one. Far too careful to use something from our lab.
Penny Kingdom.
Lost child, hardened by circumstance and neglect.
That's a poetic analysis, Slater.
Do try, sir.
But was Penny hardened enough to kill?
No, I think if she did kill, it would be a spontaneous act.
I agree. So we've had updates on the crime scene evidence. It seems the office phone had been disabled.
Had it?
And the door handle had been removed, meaning Miss Keane can get out of the office.
And tiny crystals of sodium azide were found in the art department bin.
How on earth am I supposed to know what my wife or any other student dumps into a bin?
Can you imagine why anyone would add sugar to a cup of coffee in the classroom when they could have done it in the staff room?
And if you're taking coffee to someone you know, wouldn't you just add the sugar yourself?
Are you insinuating that I put poison in her coffee? What a ludicrous claim. The person you should really be talking to is Penny Kingdom. She could have poisoned any one of us.
I don't think so. Sodium azide is a nasty poison, but it doesn't kill instantly.
Slater knows his periodic table, as I'm sure do you, having been a science teacher for many years.
You can't just take...
And I also believe you knew your wife was having an affair with Craig Thomas?
He wasn't the first, either. He probably wouldn't have been the last. Penny Kingdom knew. She was telling the whole school. I was a laughingstock.
The message at the bottom of this page is the last text she sent to Craig Thomas. It appears she realized your worth after all.
Well done, Armchair detectives. You all caught today's killer, and Paula's got her first gold magnifying glass trophy!
Oh, dear.
Armchair detectives, how many of you got that right? Yeah. See, I keep thinking it's too obvious and going for the wrong one. Come back tomorrow where we'll see Knight and Slater mix with the tweed-wearing upper class of Mortcliffe as they investigate a crime at a stunning country house. Ooh. And remember, no one gets away with murder in Mortcliffe. Goodbye. Well done, darling. Well done,